I am fully angry at the coaching staff, at the training staff in the Indiana Fever.
Lexi Hall is going to show up and show out tomorrow in LA.
They actually, did a scan.
Lexi Hall sustained quite a gruesome knot in the middle of her forehead last matchup.
It's not doing great. I wish this was a filter, but this is insane. This is what I look like.
She looks like she got into a 12-round boxing fight.
This league is so physical. Lexi been in the league for quite some time.
This WNBA season has been nothing short of dramatic, but the Indiana Fever just lived through two jaw-dropping moments that shook the league.
Lexi Hall, a couple days removed after the headbutt with Gabby Williams, she looks like she got into a 12-round boxing fight.
First, Lexi Hall endured a frightening injury that left her looking like she had gone the distance in a prize fight. Yet her determination never wavered. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more intense, Caitlin Clark stunned everyone with her unexpected return to the hardwood, sending ripples of excitement across the entire basketball world.
But the fact that she's warming up with the team is a huge positive, is a legitimately huge positive for the Indiana Fever long term. It means Caitlin Clark is probably coming back soon-ish.
When toughness in the WNBA gets brought up, most people instantly think of the league's brightest stars.
If I showed you a picture of every member of the Indiana Fever, every member of the Fever, the players, and I said, who in this picture is the toughest?
The scorers and household names. But over the past week, the spotlight shifted to a player who reminded everyone that greatness isn't only measured by points. That player is Lexi Hall.
We're going to go back first to the game against Minnesota, where Kayla McBride decided that she was going to get Lexi with her elbow. A nasty play, as I said.
It began in a matchup against the Minnesota Lynx. Hull was locked in defensively, doing what she's known for, fighting through screens, contesting shots, and throwing herself into every possession.
Gonna look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on Hull there, but then that is a technical.
That is a technical. Dead ball, contact.
That was hard to see.
Then came the moment no one expected. Kayla McBride's elbow connected flush with her jaw. This wasn't one of those harmless collisions players later laugh about. It was a direct, punishing blow that sent Hull collapsing to the floor, her legs buckling beneath her.
She got hit with an elbow, and notice I did not say an inadvertent elbow because it was absolutely a deliberate elbow to her jaw. Could have broken her jaw. Thank God she did not. Her leg folds underneath her. She crashes to the floor. She gets up, holds her face a little bit, and she comes back and continues to compete.
For a few terrifying moments, teammates and fans braced for the worst. Was her jaw fractured? Was it a concussion? Could her season be over in an instant?
But looking at the video, it just, Gabby and I ran into each other. Unfortunate, unlucky. I think we both have knots on our heads, so we both kept playing, so it's all right.
But in true Lexi Hull fashion, she refused to stay down. She pressed her hand to her face, stood up, and went right back to competing.
This league is so physical. Lexi been in the league for quite some time. She's pretty much used to it, and to me, it shows her character and her intensity as a warrior.
That one sequence spoke louder than any stat line ever could about who she is as a competitor. And that wasn't the end of her ordeal.
Lexi is a warrior, bro, and I'm pretty sure she could dish it out as good as she can take it, and I'm for Lexi being an Indiana Fever girl warrior.
Just days later, in a clash against the Seattle Storm, disaster struck again. This time it wasn't foul play, but pure bad luck. While chasing a loose ball, Hull's head collided hard with Gabby Williams. The sound of the impact made everyone wince. She was immediately pulled off the floor for concussion checks.
Guys, finish listening to this because she talked about the swelling actually being in her side of vision.
Did you glance up at the video board to see it? Did you get a look at it?
No, I could see it looking out. I could see it just from my own eyes. So I didn't need to look anywhere. I knew it was going to be big.
No way. So It's in your peripheral vision?
Yes. It was literally sticking out. I mean, it's still big right here, but it was bigger and I could see it. So they brought it down a little.
Cameras captured what came next. A massive welt swelling across her forehead, so pronounced that she later admitted she could literally see it in her peripheral vision.
So it's really funny that you asked that because it's not doing great. I wish this was a filter. But this is insane. This is what I look like. Yeah, I've been wearing these glasses all day, but the knot is like gone. I'm still a little swollen here.
For many watching at home, it was one of the most chilling sights of the entire season. If the initial bump looked awful, the morning after was even worse. The swelling subsided, but in its place were two dark, swollen black eyes.
She looks like she got into a 12-round boxing fight with Clarissa Shields, with Mike Tyson, with Katie Taylor, with Amanda Serrano. Folks, I gotta say, if I see Lexi Hull ball with two black eyes, holy smokes. What a sight to behold. Lexi Hull running out there with two black eyes, balling up.
Photos of Hull's face spread across social media like wildfire. Commentators compared it to someone who had stepped into the ring with Mike Tyson or Clarissa Shields.
I wish this was a filter.
Oh, that is not.
Hull herself even tried to joke about it, quipping, "I wish this was just a filter." But it wasn't. It was very real. She looked like she'd been through a fight.
I imagine on Tuesday you got checked for concussion, facial fracture. Just how much of a sigh of relief was it that you didn't have concussion or any kind of fracture in your face?
Honestly, when it happened, I was like relieved because I could feel myself like I was good to go. Like I felt completely with it. They did all the tests they needed to do and put ice on it right away, try to keep the swelling down. But I felt good knowing that obviously it could have been a lot worse. And I'm grateful for the people online wanting to check on me and make sure that I'm okay. But I'm okay. I've been fully checked out.
And yet she was already talking about the next game. The truly remarkable part? Medical scans showed no fractures and no concussion. Physically, she was cleared. Despite her appearance, nothing was structurally wrong. Most athletes would have taken time off anyway, but not Hull.
I mean, if I can play, if I feel like I can play, whether or not I look good or not isn't the problem. So, I think for me, it's just the team is the most important thing. Getting wins is the most important thing. And if I can contribute in any way I can, that's what I'm going to do. So if it's playing a little injured, playing a little hurt, that is what it is.
She poked fun at having to cover the bruises during a team photo shoot, laughed with teammates about makeup artists needing extra work, and immediately returned to the grind. When reporters asked about her toughness, she simply said, "If I can play, I'll play." And she didn't just suit up, she went all in.
She ended up with 9 rebounds in that game. One time she went flying across to go after something, a ball or to pick up somebody defense or whatever. And I was like, because I'm like, all I'm seeing is another head coming in her direction. But I say over and over again, give me a bunch of Lexis on a team.
That same stretch saw her pull down 9 rebounds in a single game, dive across the floor chasing possession, and never once back down from contact. Even with her face battered, she kept grinning, chewing her gum, and battling like nothing had happened.
Yeah, well, so when it happened, I had a photo shoot on Wednesday on our off day. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be looking horrible. And originally I was like, I just need to get the swelling to go down in my forehead. So I put a patch, slept with it. The next day, woke up and I was like, okay, the bump is almost gone, but now I have 2 black eyes. So that was tragic. But I mean, it's at this point, it's unfortunately won't be able to hide it. People know, so just rolling with it.
Were you able to hide it for the photo shoots?
The makeup artist did a really, really, really good job. And people that hadn't met me before were like, oh, I can't even tell. I'm like, okay, that's good. We'll take it. But I'm hoping they'll do some editing in the post.
It's no wonder Coach Stephanie White couldn't hide her pride, calling Hull the perfect example of grit, the kind of resolve that fuels an entire locker room. Fans often obsess over points and box scores, but Lexi Hull gives Indiana something statistics can't measure: heart. She doesn't whine to referees, she doesn't embellish contact, and she doesn't slow down when pain hits. She just keeps going. In a stretch where the Fever desperately needed resilience, Hull gave them a living example of what a warrior looks like. Her injury was ugly, and the aftermath was tough to watch. But instead of being a setback, it became a rallying symbol. Proof that the Indiana Fever refused to quit, no matter how brutal the battle gets.
Yeah. Everyone's like, you look beautiful. I'm like, I know I look insane, but it honestly looks better now than it did when it first happened. So hopefully this goes down quick.
So she was all like, honestly, it looked better now than what it did in the game.
While Lexi Hall was showing the league what grit truly looks like, Indiana fans got the moment they had been craving, the electrifying return of Caitlin Clark. For weeks, her groin injury was the subject of endless speculation.
They're going to be playing this game tonight, and they've got 3 games, and there's a good chance it's 3 free hits. Because, like, realistically, does it really matter if you play the Aces or the Dream? I don't think so. I'd rather play the Dream because I just think we match up better to the Dream. But, like, I don't think there's that much of a difference in level between those 2 teams. I think it's realistically, makes no odds which of these you're playing. I think they're going to give you the same. So, as long as we don't end up facing the Minnesota Lynx, who, by the way, the Minnesota Lynx just blew a 21-point lead against the Seattle Storm. They are a team that if they get cold, and you can get them in 1 game. And all you have to do is do that twice out of 3. Like, in a best of 3 against the Lynx, Indiana would be hoping that one of the 3 games they get hot, and one of the 3 games the Lynx get cold. And then you can win a best of 3 series.
Some insisted she should shut it down for the season to protect her future. Others doubted she was anywhere near healthy. Even Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie added fuel to the debate by suggesting Clark needed to call it quits for the year. But that was never Caitlin's mentality. She isn't wired to sit back and watch. She's a competitor, a leader, and above all, someone who thrives on being on the court.
But the fact that she's warming up with the team is a huge positive, is a legitimately huge positive for the Indiana Fever long term. It means Caitlin Clark is probably coming back soonish. And if you guys are wondering when soonish is, it's in the regular season. In the regular season is my assumption for when Caitlin Clark's coming back. And I think a lot of you guys will be probably in agreement with that Caitlin Clark is probably going to be coming back in the regular season. And we can't complain about that. Like, look, if Caitlin Clark comes back in the regular season.
The first hint of her comeback came during pre-game warm-ups. Fans spotted her stretching, going through drills and moving with the sharpness of someone who wasn't done, not even close. Behind the scenes, the Fever's medical team had cleared her scans, confirming there was no severe damage. At worst, it was a minor strain, the type of injury that could be managed. That meant no long-term risk, no career-threatening setback.
That was hard to see. She got hit with an elbow, and notice I did not say an inadvertent elbow because it was absolutely a deliberate elbow to her jaw. Could have broken her jaw. Thank God she did not. Her leg folds underneath her. She crashes to the floor.
Caitlin wasn't preparing for next season. She was gearing up to help her team right now, and then it happened. She stepped back onto the hardwood. The arena erupted. The energy was unlike anything Indiana had felt in weeks. Her presence transformed the atmosphere instantly. Because let's face it.
Yeah, Lexi's playing with 2 black eyes. Hopefully they put some makeup on it because she will be on TV, but that is serious, bro. Somebody said this is real. Oh, yeah, that's definitely real. Somebody said, what the F? I've had clashes to the head, bangs on the head through collision in sports, but never come out like that. Looks like she done 12 rounds with AT.
Caitlin Clark isn't just another promising rookie. She's the engine of the Fever, the player fans travel miles to watch, and the face of a league trying to capture a bigger audience. Her return didn't just lift spirits inside the building. It changed the narrative around the entire WNBA.
Here as a godsend, the CC brand has delivered the WNBA into a marketable league with new fans, higher expectations that only want to see the highest level of the game of basketball.
Analysts often referred to her as the league's economic driver, and for good reason. When she was sidelined, ticket sales lagged, TV numbers dipped, and conversations about the league quieted down. The moment she returned, everything reversed. Crowds swelled, viewership spiked, and suddenly Indiana Fever games once again felt like can't-miss events.
When Caitlin Clark became injured, it tremendously affected the economy and the revenue of 1, the state of Indiana, 2, the United States sports apparel market, 3, the actual viewership of the fan.
What makes her comeback even more striking is the timing. Most first-year players in her situation would have chosen the safe route, waiting until next season to avoid any chance of aggravating the injury. Caitlin took the opposite path. She understood her teammates needed her playmaking, her leadership, and her ability to tilt the floor every time she touches the ball.
I look at it now to tell you the WNBA sits in a golden opportunity position. This position can be owned, can be marketed, and can be delivered to the families of America that are willing and able to support the WNBA. The message is simple. Just play basketball.
She wasn't thinking about tomorrow. She was focused on what the Fever needed in this moment, and the difference was immediate. Defenses had to adjust to her as soon as she crossed half court, creating space for scorers like Kelsey Mitchell and opening the paint for Aaliyah Boston. She controlled the tempo, set the tone, and delivered highlight-worthy plays that swung momentum back in Indiana's favor. But what stood out most wasn't just her skill set.
Yeah, it is a funny when people are like, oh, there's actually 4 out-of-season ending injuries. If you're being honest about Clark, Caitlin Clark's coming back.
It was her mindset. She came back with urgency, fire, and a determination that reminded everyone she wasn't here to play cautiously. She was here to win. For the fans, seeing Caitlin Clark lace up again meant more than just a box score boost. It represented hope. It reignited belief. It reminded the Fever faithful that no matter how rough the season looked, their franchise cornerstone wasn't going to let them down. She was back, and she was ready to fight.
Shutting down a player because of niggling groin issues that just won't go away without any major actual injury, when she has an 8-month break, starting very soon, makes no sense.
The Indiana Fever's season has been marked by setbacks, injuries, inconsistency, and constant pressure from stronger opponents. For a long time, it felt like the challenges were stacking too high to overcome.
Not with the fact that they would have to lose every single game for the rest of the season. And you're never going to get players on board to do that. You can tank, as in you can tell your coach to do whatever.
But sometimes all it takes is a single spark to shift an entire season. And right now, Indiana has 2. The first came from Lexi Hall. Her willingness to push through visible pain, 2 black eyes, a swollen forehead, and still diving on the hardwood, set a tone no stat sheet could capture. That kind of toughness doesn't just win admiration from fans, it ignites teammates. When players see someone sacrifice her body and play fearlessly through injury, they feel compelled to match that same level of commitment.
Yeah. Everyone's like, you look beautiful. I'm like, I know I look insane, but it honestly looks better now than it did when it first happened. So hopefully this goes down quick.
And so she was all like, honestly, it looked better now than what it did in the game.
Hull's courage became the foundation of a new standard inside the Fever locker room. The second spark was Caitlin Clark's return. She isn't just a gifted rookie, she's the player opposing teams plan their defenses around. The star who carries the franchise spotlight, and the one whose presence transforms games. With Clark back on the floor, Indiana regained its floor general, its most reliable scorer, and its emotional leader.
Adidas does not have a stronghold position today. Candace Parker is the director of grassroots with Adidas. So she takes a shot at Angel Reese, who's with Reebok. It's as simple as it is. It's about marketing and strategy and what players know. And as Candace Parker rightfully deserved, her number was retired.
Suddenly, the burden on everyone else lifted. Kelsey Mitchell had more freedom to create. Aaliyah Boston found easier opportunities in the paint. Even Hull's hustle plays took on new meaning because the Fever now had the firepower to capitalize on them. Together, Hull's perseverance and Clark's comeback formed a powerful combination. One showed relentless fight, the other supplied momentum.
Now, that's what I'm telling y'all, man. Lexi Hall is a warrior. So for those of you guys thinking that she should not play, she's ready to go. Look at her. She looked good. This was immediately after the game. No set conversation that was off. No slurred words or anything like that. She was definitely ready to go.
It was the kind of mix that doesn't just win games. It reshapes an entire season's outlook. For weeks, analysts counted Indiana out. Critics claimed they were too young, too inexperienced, too fragile to compete against the league's elite. But now with Hull's resilience setting the tone and Clark's leadership fueling the offense, the Fever look like a team that refuses to accept limits. They've gained something far more valuable than just victories.
She's not going to be able to work out with the Fever facilities after October the 31st because the lockout is players are going to be locked out from teams.
They've gained belief, and belief changes everything. It spreads through the bench, into the stands, and across living rooms watching on TV. When fans see Lexi playing through pain and Caitlin leading the charge, it sends one message loud and clear. This team isn't backing down. This is no longer about surviving the season. This feels like the start of a transformation. The moment the Indiana Fever shift from underdogs into genuine contenders.
You have a puncher's chance at a best of 3 when you're facing a jump shooting team in the Minnesota Lynx, and you are a jump shooting team and you're a run and gun, super high octane offensive team at their best, like the Indiana Fever.
Lexi Hull's toughness and Caitlin Clark's dramatic return aren't just isolated storylines. Together, they represent the very heartbeat of this Indiana Fever team. One embodies the spirit of sacrifice, pushing through injuries that would sideline most players. The other delivers inspiration, stepping back onto the court when many believed she was finished for the year, carrying both her teammates and the spotlight of the league. What they've given Indiana goes far beyond points, rebounds, or highlight plays. They've restored something every great team needs: belief. Belief that resilience can overcome setbacks. Belief that youth doesn't mean weakness. Belief that combining heart with talent creates a force powerful enough to surprise anyone standing in their way. This season has officially taken a turn. With Hull's grit setting the standard and Clark's fire driving the team forward, the Fever are no longer just trying to hang on. They're sending a message to their rivals, to their doubters, and to the fans who never stopped watching. This team is far from finished. In fact, they're only beginning to show what they're truly capable of.